that's in there. We have Ian Garry, who a lot of people feel like is the well-deserved fighter, who has been really, who has a victory over the number one contender, which is you. And then obviously you have the newcomer in Islam Makhachev, the double champ. Like, how do you see this division and how you being fair? Because I've seen interviews recently with you. There could be a big surprise where you could be the next guy in line. But what's going on with Morales? What's going on with Garry? And how do you see that big picture at 170 pounds?
Yeah, but it's a really nice thing, is like being part of this. Like I always wanted this on my life. Beyond that moment of like I'm kind of guy. Caio Borralho always say one thing, and now I'm learning from him. Like the pressure is our friend, like the pressure is our owner, because if I'm here like feeling the pressure, can imagine how many people want to be on my place, like getting my pressure, like so it's really nice. I really think like Ian gonna fight Makhachev, and then I'm gonna fight the winner. But also we have Morales, and I think Morales is behind me just because on the ranks, just because he didn't fight any former champ, and he fought Sean Brady. He beat Sean Brady on a really good way, but I think he still have to fight for some champ or something like that, But he's undefeated. He's strong. He's big, and also we have a lot of guys. Shavkat, Sean Brady just got the win, So a lot of good names, and I'm really happy to be part of this.
How do you see that fight going? Where do you see Ian potentially having success over Islam?
Of course, he's the underdog against Makhachev, but I truly believe he have a really good skills to beat Makhachev, Of course, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard fight. I think if he would the guy like knock people out a little bit more, he hurt a little bit more, would be like less hard to beat beat Makhachev, He do a lot of points. He don't hurt people, But I think he have a chance, really good chance, like real chance, to beat Makhachev. But it's gonna be a hard fight.
Now, when you look at Islam, where do you see Islam potentially winning this fight?
By points, like trying takedowns. I don't know. I don't believe this, but I don't think he's gonna do like he did with JDM, like put on the ground and stay on top all the time. I think some points of the life, Ian can get up, and then he needs to take down again and things like that. But I think the fight's going this way. I think Islam is really hard to beat him by points. You need to knock him out, hurt him and knock him out. Make he go out of his game.
Right.
Because if he stay like comfortable to some punch and takedowns, he gonna win the fight.
Does Ian Garry have the game planning necessary to get this one done? He's not going to be much bigger than Islam Makhachev. I've already seen people putting out the weights and saying that Makhachev's actually going to be weighing in a little bit more than Ian Garry for this division. It hurts me to say this, but is Islam Makhachev's win over JDM as impressive as we once thought? To not come close to submitting him, to never really be able to beat him up on the ground. Is he just going to go out there and submit Ian Garry? Way bigger than him, way taller than him, not bigger than him, but frame-wise. That's a tougher man to hold down. Ian Garry's very athletic. Yes, Shavkat Rakhmonov got him down in the fight, but Shavkat pre-ACL tear was quite a formidable foe. Alright? And Ian Garry's only going to be learning from that. He's a young fighter as well. I don't think he's 30 yet. He might already be, but he's a very young man. Like, he's not reached his prime whatsoever. And that Prates performance on short notice. Not to mention in the Shavkat Rakhmonov performance. He stepped up on short notice there as well. And he took Shavkat's back in round 5. I'm flipping the script. This reeks of an underdog win.
Islam wishes that Ian was even taller and even longer and had even more ability, because as a wrestler, it just gives him more to get under. Taking a tall guy down is so much easier just because there's more body to grab. So that's going to be an interesting trade. What I didn't love that Garry said is, I want to prove to the world that he can't submit me. And the only reason I didn't love that, do you guys think he's going to get submitted? Submissions for a large part are not real. For a large part. So I only say that because I don't think Islam's going to submit Garry. Nobody submits anybody. Right? I don't think. But then Garry said, I want to prove that I can get out from the bottom. Now, I would argue for you that getting out from the bottom is more effective than being able to stop somebody's takedown. That's a loose argument. Maybe I even say it to get your attention to then make my point. But if you want to stop a wrestler from taking you down, get up 3 times. If you get taken down, you got an overwhelming wrestler. You got Jordan Burroughs to deal with. It would not matter. If they take you down 3 times, they use all that effort to get you down, and you get back to your feet, that wrestler is done trying to take you down. It is so effective and so important, right? When a wrestler takes you down, he's got to have a moment there. He has to have a moment. It is the most cardio demanding thing you can do in a fight, is to take somebody down. You must have a moment to get your breath back. To prove how important it is what ended Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje. Ilia's final effort was that big double leg. And if he got it, he was going to stay in the fight. And if he didn't, we were done. And he didn't. Justin stopped it, and that is where that fight ended. So I think that Garry is real close here.
Predictions surrounding the fight between Garry and Islam Makhachev just keep coming, but in MMA, no one seems to be able to agree which man will emerge victorious. Champions of the past, analysts, and fighters themselves have given their predictions, with some believing that Garry will spring the shock upset of his career, and others that Makhachev will once again show why his wrestling and championship experience is too much to handle. Yet, as each prediction is made, the excitement levels just continue to grow as a huge fight builds up. So now that so many have made their picks, whose is the most likely to come true?
Well, what do you think about them announcing Garry and Islam?
Fucking love that. Dagestan versus Ireland 2. Garry's legit as fuck.
Yeah.
Islam moving up. I think Ian's going to be quite a bit bigger, just frame-wise.
He's got a lot of height, too.
Yeah, he's
Garry's a big fucking dude.
Confident.
Yeah.
And confidence is important. I know we saw Ilia, how confident he was, and that didn't fucking pan out too well, but confidence is still one of the most important attributes in fighting. And Garry is confident that he can go out there and beat Islam, and I'm pumped for that.
And then we just get done with Sean Strickland beating Hamzat, and I get done with Justin Gaethje beating Ilya. It's like,
dude, the UFC is fucking dope right now. I don't care what anyone says, but like,
sick.
It's been fucking.
And even Islam, because he moved up a weight class and dropped his belt. So in all those divisions that we asked you before, none of them are still a champ.
Look, to be one of the good quality of a champion who stay champion for a long time, a champion is able to be good when it matters. You can be good in a gym, you can, but to be good when it counts. Yeah. That's what matters the most.
You're talking about yourself.
It's freaking hard, man, because you have to deal with so many stuff sometimes, and things doesn't go your way. You have to be adaptable, be able to adapt, and that's one of the biggest quality of a champion, and to do it every single time after again and again and again, it's very, very hard. Yeah. You never know. One day you wake up, you're sick, or what you're gonna do. You can't cancel the fight unless if it's really an emergency. You have to fight it off. It's crazy. Yeah. Or something happened in your personal life that affects you. But you have a fight that is scheduled. It's
there's different types of strikers out there. There's guys that kind of lead with their power or their speed or their ability to put together combinations is what makes them a great striker. And I think what makes Garry Machado so interesting is the fact that his striking is all predicated off of his footwork. And that is the key to success against someone like Islam Makhachev, who's trying to get into that clinch position. And it's one thing to be able to strike. It's another thing to be able to strike and move. And Ian does that extremely well. He's going to have to be on his bike repeatedly. And it's further complicated for Islam Makhachev because of that length that you talked about as well, Ray. This is a guy who's what, like 6'3", 170 pounds. Yeah. He can use those long-range weapons, be it the teep down the middle or the kicks upstairs or those long jabs, to keep Islam frustrated and maybe force him into some bad shots. Now, if Islam is able to get to that clinch and find a way to get on the inside, then, you know, I think he has his way with Ian Machado Garry. But until then, it's going to be very interesting, because do not sleep on Ian Machado Garry. Yes, maybe he's not known for his power. Do I think he can knock out Makhachev? Yes, I do.
With Prates, man, I don't think he had any problem with the movement just to upset him. You know, it's easier when a guy's trying to take your head off to take him down, because they got to commit to those punches. Yes. And it does open up their hips. Like Kenny said, when you could punch and move like and it's awkward. It's not the prettiest thing. I think he poses a big puzzle for Islam.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the critics includes the former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, who had wondered about whether Ian Garry deserved the chance to fight for the belt rather than Carlos Prates. Usman believed that not only was Garry's chance not based on his credentials alone, but also because of his readiness to face Prates, as well as Shavkat Rakhmonov to save the day for UFC, which happened in short notice. This was, according to Usman, worth a lot of good favor with the organization. Despite all this, Usman had also admitted that Ian Garry had done quite well in his recent stint. However, Henry Cejudo contradicted that reasoning and gave a reason as to why Garry deserved to be picked over Prates. For one thing, Garry has already defeated Prates, and Garry's sole professional defeat was to Shavkat Rakhmonov, who at that time had an undefeated record, but even then, Garry went into the 5th round while being competitive in the contest. Additionally, Cejudo noted the intelligence of Garry in the octagon, where he used takedowns, targeted Prates' lead leg, paced himself, and handled the fight well once he got ahead of the fight. According to Cejudo, Garry is one of the most dangerous matchups stylistically for Makhachev. Cejudo also believes that Garry is equipped with many things people think he doesn't have. Though he agrees with the difficulty of gaining 15 pounds to compete against a larger opponent in the welterweight division, he said that Garry's length, strikes, and grappling skills make him a dangerous opponent for everyone. Though he usually goes for elite wrestlers rather than elite strikers, he acknowledged that this time things are different for him. Garry's ability to get to the back of his elite opponents and almost submit Shavkat Rakhmonov proves his top-level grappling skills. Due to these skills and strategies, Cejudo believes Garry is a match for Islam Makhachev. Cejudo is not alone among the analysts who think that Garry has a good shot at causing an upset. Even MMA Guru is on the Irish fighter's side, though he admits that picking Islam Makhachev to lose is dangerous considering the champion's current form. However, he thinks that Garry's speed, ability to control range, and evasion skills will make him a special opponent for Makhachev. As far as Guru is concerned, this will make it impossible for the champion to utilize his kicking skills effectively from a distance. Moreover, while Makhachev managed to attack successfully the legs of Jack Della Maddalena, Garry will give him an entirely new experience. To make his point about Garry being a tough opponent even more evident, Guru went a step further by insisting that Garry is the most dangerous finisher in this encounter. According to him, Garry had a good match with Carlos Prates in which he managed to neutralize one of the most threatening strikers in the division despite accepting the bout on such a short notice. This performance helped him convince himself that Garry can create problems for Makhachev in the same way by using his distance and precision. However, Guru acknowledges that there is still a chance for Islam to prove him wrong in the match. On the other hand, as for the champion's mindset of Makhachev, according to George St. Pierre, he can tell why sustaining success at an extremely high level is so hard to maintain. The thing is that despite the fact that Makhachev decided to change weight categories and give up his lightweight belt, it is necessary to understand that the true champion does not give in even when everything is at stake. To be precise, according to the statements made by the former welterweight champion of the UFC, Elite fighters have to always keep in mind that they have to cope with any injuries and diseases without influencing their results in any way. Asked for his prediction, Georges St. Pierre described the matchup as a battle of styles. He believes Ian Garry has the edge if he can keep the fight standing, where his striking and movement are at their best. However, if Islam Makhachev succeeds in securing takedowns, St. Pierre expects the former lightweight champion to take control and dictate the fight. Moreover, Ray Longo also believes Garry presents a unique challenge for Makhachev. He pointed out that Garry has spent the past few years emphasizing improvements in his wrestling, suggesting he has been preparing for elite grapplers all along. Longo also highlighted Garry's physical advantages, describing him as one of the biggest welterweights in the division, with an awkward style, constant movement, and a proven ability to find ways to win difficult fights. Because of those qualities, he expects Garry to test Makhachev in ways few opponents have. In Longo's view, this matchup will reveal whether Islam can successfully adapt his championship game against a naturally larger welterweight. Kenny Florian agreed with Longo's assessment, arguing that Garry's striking is dangerous, not because of overwhelming power, but because of his exceptional footwork. He believes Garry's ability to strike while constantly moving makes him a difficult target for a grappler like Islam Makhachev, who relies on closing distance and securing the clinch. Florian also pointed to Garry's height, reach, and long-range weapons, including his jab and kicks, as tools that could frustrate Makhachev and force mistakes. Still, he acknowledged that if Islam manages to get inside and establish his grappling, the fight could quickly swing in the champion's favor. Florian wasn't the only analyst praising Garry's unique skill set. Chael Sonnen also spoke highly of the Irish contender, arguing that Garry is even better than he realizes. Despite his confident personality, Sonnen believes Garry still doesn't fully appreciate just how elite he has become. In his view, if Garry isn't the best fighter in the world, he's already among the top 3. Sonnen even recalled Garry celebrating his first top 1-5 ranking as evidence that he hadn't yet grasped his true potential. He believes Garry is destined for championship fights and has all the qualities needed to become one of the UFC's biggest stars. So, who do you think comes out on top, Islam Makhachev or Ian Garry? Drop your prediction in the comments below and tell us how you see the fight playing out. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest UFC news, fight updates, and expert predictions.